Hi guys, so I realized that I owed you a conclusion video for my Ronin SC and the setup of the gimbal and how I've been using it since then. So as you might have seen at the end of the previous video, I did eventually get it set up after about what felt like forever, but I think it was about 90 minutes. And I thought, let me just keep it set up like that and I'll use it. But then during Black Friday, I got a wider angle lens. So I had been looking for a 20 to maybe 28 or a 35mm lens, something a little bit wider so I can get wider angle shots, video of my mom for her YouTube channel. So I did eventually get the and I've got it on now. So it's a 24mm Samyang lens, f2.8, which is really good for video in that at f2.8 you're letting in a lot of light. So when you're shooting indoors, it does work very well. So then what I had to do was when I took my 50mm lens off is rebalance the whole gimbal and whatever settings I had previously I had to redo. So this morning I took the time and rebalanced it. It is actually easier to balance. So as you can see, it's on now and is balanced, and it's working fine as it is. What I realized is so the three axes are the tilt axis, the roll axis, and the pan axis. And on the tilt axis, you've actually got two separate axes almost to balance as well. So you've got the camera and the base plate. So you have to balance that so that the weight of the camera body doesn't sit too far front or too far back with the lens on. When I put on the 20mm lens, which is a smaller pancake lens almost, it then shifts that center of gravity back or front. So I had to rebalance that. And then you've got a separate axis on here. So this is now the second axis on the tilt axis almost, which is how high or low your camera sits. And I was actually trying to balance out those two axes at the same time. But what you can do is actually set it up so that you balance front back and then you balance up down on the tilt axis separately. And when I realized that, or when I figured that out, it makes then the balancing so much easier. So this morning it took me less than 5 minutes to set up and have it excellently balanced, even with the Rode mic on. So now I can actually use the gimbal as it was intended. Press the button in and it keeps the camera quite steady, doesn't allow it to move around as much. So the gimbal now performs as it should be performing, except for one thing. And I'm just gonna let me actually do this. Yeah, this would work. So when I put it in, when you click 3 times on the gimbal button, it actually goes into selfie mode. So I just wanted to show you. I still get this error on the A7 III, so I can't use the gimbal record function to record directly on the camera. I've contacted DJI on that issue, and they don't seem to have a solution for me yet. It's with their latest firmware update on the Ronin SC. I'm not too sure what they did in the background, but the firmware updated, I think 2 or 3 days after I got the SC. And you would have seen in the video when I was trying the balancing that it takes 15 minutes just to update the firmware on the Ronin itself, on the app. And I did that before actually going through, and it seems as if that error is from that latest update. Other people have used their Sony A7IIIs with the DJI gimbal, and they haven't had issues. So I've contacted DJI, and they have come back to me and said, on their side they cannot resolve the issue. It may be a Sony issue, or it may be specific to my camera. So I'm not too sure. What I'm going to do is, when I'm shooting later on, I'll try with the A9 and see if the A9 has the same issue, or and maybe this is a last resort, hire out a different camera body, and maybe see if that works better. So yeah, otherwise the gimbal works fine. I've been using it to shoot my mom's YouTube videos, and maybe I'll do some behind the scenes with one of the upcoming videos yet to see how it works, and I'll try to get that video attached to the series that I've started now on YouTube. Ongoing trials and tribulations with this gimbal, but slowly coming right. Hopefully DJI release the next iteration of their software, and it maybe fixes this problem. So hoping for the next firmware update on the Ronin SC. But yeah, so that's just a short and quick update. I'm happy with the gimbal for the most part. Would love if I could start and stop my video on the camera with this on, but when it's connected it doesn't really work. If you've got a solution, or can tell me how to work around this, I'd appreciate it if you put that in the comments. Okay, so that's it from me, and we'll catch you in the next video.